Hey everybody, and welcome back to some more QTech. Now, before this video gets started, I wanted to let you guys know that there was a stream between this episode and the last episode that you saw here on YouTube, and the reason why I didn't put that stream on YouTube, the reason why I didn't go through the effort of editing it down for you guys, is because basically all we did in that live stream is expand our strainer setup and recreate the exact same strainer setup that we had previously before we moved into this volcano base. And so essentially I spent 2 hours making more strainers and making more pipes. We are still using the pipes from the Pretty Pipes mod, and essentially we have a bunch of strainers around the lava core there, and we have pipes that run in a spiral all the way around like so, and eventually coming up to this iron chest here. So the way it works is that we have 2 pipes connected to the iron chest. Each one of these pipes is fitted with a retrieval module. This one has a high retrieval module, and then the one on the back here has a medium retrieval module. I originally just wanted to have the one retrieval module and, not whitelist anything. I thought if I left it empty, it would just pull everything from connected inventories. Unfortunately, that's not how these retrieval modules work, and so if we did want to have all of the items pulled out of the strainers and towards this chest, we did have to get 2 pipes and whitelist all of the items that the strainers produce, which is exactly what we did. We then have a pipe here that is fitted with the extraction module, so that is going to pull everything out of this chest and send it to the nearest available location. Right now, for most of the items, that is these bins over here. So all of our gems, all of our dirt, our sand, all of our clay, all that kind of stuff is sent to these bins here via the pipes on the back. And anything that's not going in here, which notably is the nuggets, is sent through to the tier 3 crafter. And basically what we've done here to make sure that the crafter always has space for specific nuggets is we've used this little button, which remembers the current items in the internal buffer and external buffers. So when you click this, it will basically save all of the slots to whichever item they're currently housing. So for example, if I take out these tin nuggets, you'll see that they are now locked to tin nuggets. So you can't put anything else into this slot. And so even if I take these nuggets out, there is still space for the tin in there. So the tin nuggets always have a place to go in the tier 3 crafter. Right now, this doesn't have any redstone flux. Originally, when I put it down, it still had some residual power from the first time that we had it down, when we actually did provide it with redstone flux. At some point, I do need to hook both the tier 3 crafter and the storage scanner up with redstone flux, so we're going to have to run some cables probably under the ground and up into both of these machines. But essentially, that's all we worked on in the last stream. Finally, all of the ingots are pulled out. Here we have another low extraction module, which sends the ingots around and into this chest. But yeah, that's essentially all that we worked on in the last stream. Other than that, we did also manage to finally get the digital miner up and running. And so what I'll do here, because I don't want to stop this digital miner, is I'll quickly hop into a single player world and show you how we set that up. So this is what the digital miner looks like when you first place it down. And essentially all you have to do is hit config. Over here, you can specify the radius. I think we went with the maximum 32. And then right here, you have the minimum Y level and the maximum Y level. So right now, it's going to dig, or going to scan, I should say, between Y level 0 and 60, which is fine. We might have bumped this up to 80 on our miner. I'm not quite sure. Then you have to specify what you want the miner to actually look for and actually grab. So you want to click New Filter. And then there's a few things you can do here. You can click Material, for example, and put a material in here. So if you had some iron ore, you could go ahead and do something like this. Click Save, and now it will scan that whole area, a 32 block radius from 0 up to Y level 80, and it will pull any iron ore out of the ground for that. A much easier way of doing it, and the thing that we ended up doing, was clicking New Filter. You click Tag, and then type Forge::Ores, and then now basically we're telling the miner to scan for any and all ores that are registered by Forge, which is all of the ores in the mod pack. And so basically now when you provide this with Powah, and when you click Start, it will start scanning that massive area for any ores, and it will put those ores into its internal buffer. You can also click auto eject and then put a chest on the back, which is exactly what we did. And so all of our ores were being pumped into the chest on the back of our digital miner. And so that is everything I did in the missing stream. You're all caught up. And so without further ado, here is episode 6 of QTech. So the plan, chat, for today's stream is to finally get around to sucking up and processing this little pool of oil that we have right about here. We've got quite a bit of it. I think it is fairly deep, and by fairly deep, I mean at least 2 blocks deep. So there's not a ton of oil here, but there should be enough for the time being. It should be enough to get us quite a few of the machines that we need, and maybe even more importantly than making new machines, I really want to see if we can't make some speed upgrades for our alloy smelter here, because as you'll know, if you've watched any of the previous episodes or streams, we need to use this alloy smelter a lot. We need a ton of these red alloy ingots. We also need like blue alloy ingots and wafers, and just everything in the pack seems to require the alloy furnace, right? Whether it be these silicon balls here. We also have stuff like, if we go to @RF tools, a lot of the RF tools machines, of course, require the machine frame, which requires blue alloy. And then we had the iron as well. I forget the name of it, but there's the upgraded iron, the refined iron, which requires iron and sand. So there are a lot of resources in this mod pack that require the alloy smelter to be made. And so I have been contemplating just making a second, maybe even a third or a fourth alloy smelter to really speed us up in that regard. But I think initially what I do want to try is crafting more speed upgrades, or crafting at least some speed upgrades from Silent Mechanism, and seeing if they do make this alloy smelter substantially faster. And if they do, we might just stick with those as opposed to having to make a whole new alloy smelter, because while doable, the recipe for this guy is a little bit tedious. So if we do want to make some of those speed upgrades, which I believe are these guys right here, the processing speed upgrades, they require redstone, silver, and upgrade casing. The upgrade casing is fairly easy to make. It's just gold nuggets and then plastic sheets. The plastic sheets are made with plastic pellets, which are made from polyethylene. So the plan today, chat, is to hopefully get these plastic pellets, hopefully produce them, and maybe even automate the production of them. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is grab ourselves an electric pump from Mechanism. I think this might be the only pump in the pack. Oh, it's not. There is also one from Silent Mechanism, but I think the one from actual Mechanism is probably going to do us for now. So for this, we need a bucket, we need 2 infused alloy, we need 3 osmium, and we need a steel casing. The steel casing we do have bookmarked here, but I would be surprised if we have... Oh my goodness, we have everything it takes. Oh wow, I was not expecting that, chat. I really thought we were not going to have some of this stuff. Do we have steel? I guess we do. We've got 2 left over. I think I did start making some steel. I did indeed. Look at that. We have steel dust ready to go. I'm going to throw that into our blast furnace real quick. And actually, chat, I'm going to do a quick pivot right at the start of the stream here, because I think what I probably want to do is get the electric furnace that replaces the blast furnace. So I mentioned it a few streams ago, but we can get the electric furnace from Silent Mechanism and use it in place of the blast furnace so that we don't have to keep putting coal in here. And I think that's going to be especially useful given that, of course, now that we have our digital miner up and running, and now that it has been going for quite some time, we now have a vast array of resources in here, including, stacks and stacks of iron ore, quite a bit of redstone, a ton of coal, a few diamonds, some Teslatite, which is also going to come in very useful in today's stream. And so if we want to get all of that processed in a timely manner, I think it would be a lot better for us to have an electric furnace at the bottom here. So for that, we need 2 iron ingots, 2 redstone alloy ingots, and I did also start, chat, producing more of those in here. So let's go and quickly rerun some redstone through that alloy smelter there and see if we can't get 32 or 34 of these redstone alloy ingots ready for today's stream. I don't think the red alloy ingots are really used for too much outside of the redstone alloys, that is. They are used to make purple alloys, and I think we do need 1 purple alloy today. Oh no, maybe not. They're also used to make the pity machine frame, but I don't think we're going to make any of those today either. So I think for now this is going to be just fine. So let's grab that, and let's see if we can't make this, chat. I think we're pretty close. We might not have what it takes to make this guy here. Do we have an elite control circuit? I don't think we do, but I'm fairly certain we do have a spare reinforced alloy. I think at that point, the only thing that we would be missing is the advanced control circuit. And boy, I really think that we want to try and get into refined storage as fast as possible, because I would love to be able to auto-craft all of these circuits and all of these smaller components that we have to make so many of. So we do need some more basic control circuits here. Thankfully, we did speed up our Mechanism metallurgic infuser in a previous stream here. So getting more of these should not be too difficult. All we need to do is throw in our osmium and then throw in a couple of those enriched redstone pieces. And I think for now, actually, just the 1 or 2 will be fine. We can go grab the rest of them in just a second here. So that gets us the circuit board. We should also have what it takes, I think, to make this guy. We might not have the fine copper wire, but again, we should definitely have what it takes to make it. We've got the diamond draw plate, so hopefully that does work. Am I using the wrong copper ingot here? The other benefit, of course, to upgrading to refined storage, chat, is that we can once and for all not have to worry about pulling the wrong item into this slot here. Now, we should probably also... Oh, we already have smooth stone, chat. Look at that. So that should be the copper wire hopefully taken care of. It is indeed. And then at that point, the heating element should also be fairly easily crafted with just a little bit more of that redstone alloy ingot. Nice. And then from there, iron we have, alloy ingot we have, smooth stone we have, circuit board we have. We just need the alloy machine frame, which requires more redstone alloy ingot, some structural glass, which is just steel and glass, and then this guy in the middle, which does require sapphire glass, which again, I don't know if we have available to us just yet. It doesn't look like we do, unfortunately, but once again, should be fairly easy to make, and you can probably see why I think it's important that we get a faster alloy smelter, or maybe even multiple alloy smelters, because boy, oh boy, this mod pack has a lot of alloys in it, chat. So let's see. Do we have what it takes to make the stone machine frame? We do. Fantastic. Do we have what it takes to make the alloy machine frame? We do, I think, but we just need to get the structural glass, which of course requires that glass that I've just put away. That's fine. Only one is required. And of course, as per usual, it requires the other kind of steel. So we might as well just do it in here, chat. There we go. And at that point, we should have everything it takes to make the alloy machine frame. And then from there, finally, the electric furnace. Nice. So let's go ahead and replace you. Like so. That's going to fill up with power nice and fast. And of course, with this machine, we can also use these upgrade slots as well. So if we get multiple speed upgrades, we could even make this faster on top of our original, speed upgrades for the alloy smelter. And so let's go quickly grab some of our ores here and throw them into that chest. I'm not quite sure if we're going to need too many of them, and I think it probably makes the most sense, honestly, to process... Hello, my friend. I do see you in the peripheral vision there. But I think it makes a lot of sense to maybe process some of the ores that we're not getting from our strainers, because we do have quite a bit of iron ore coming in. But then again, iron ore is also kind of the resource that we're using the most of. But I will go and take like basically all of the ones that we're not getting from our strainers and throw those in first. Like that. Because again, over here, we've got, a ton of, I say a ton, we've got some iron and osmium and tin and copper and all that kind of stuff coming in passively and gold, of course. So now that that is taken care of, chat, now that we've got our electric furnace coming in, let's head back over to this pump, which I don't think is going to be too hard whatsoever. In fact, we might already have everything it takes. I think possibly we're missing a bucket, and we might potentially not have enough enriched iron. But once again, that should not be much of a problem whatsoever. Our osmium should be done. It is indeed. Let's throw in a few more of you with pretty much all of the iron that we have on us, and that is of course going to get us more of those infused alloys. And at that point, chat, the pump there is basically good to go. Now it does require power, of course, and I think what I might do temporarily, chat, is move or like redirect the power from the wind turbine. This does still have 2,000 and some blocks to go. And in fact, you know what? Let's just make another wind generator, chat. They're not that hard to make, right? I think we can just make a separate wind generator for the pump. And I think by default, the pump only uses 40 redstone flux per tick. And so I'm fairly certain that no matter where we put our amount of redstone of all things, but no matter where we put the wind generator, as long as we don't bury it underground, it should be able to produce enough power to keep up with the pump. At least for now. We can, of course, put speed upgrades into the pump to make it faster, but I don't think that is going to be strictly necessary, at least not in today's stream. So let's quickly see about grabbing some more of those red infused alloys, and then another energy tablet, and kapow, nice, another wind turbine, beautiful. Do we have any more universal cable? We do indeed, fantastic. And I think it also probably, chat, makes logical sense for us to grab a tank as kind of a buffer for the oil here. So we'll get a standard one, and we'll also go ahead and upgrade that right away to the next tier as well, like so. And I think, chat, if I'm not mistaken, all we have to do here is just place this pump down above one of the blocks of oil. So for example, if we put it right about here, now the power does go in on this like green side, like that. So we do want to make sure that our cable goes down right about there. And then the oil comes out of the top. So we can put the tank right about there. And if we throw our wind generator right about here, I don't think it's affected by the tree being next to it. It is producing 61.81 redstone flux per tick. And there we go. Look at that. We have oil being pumped into the tank. Nice. And we're already up at 11 buckets, 12 buckets. I think it should... Oh my goodness, goodbye, my friend. I think it should fully clear out this bit of oil here. And we are almost certainly going to have to move it if we want to get to that pool of oil. But that's fine. We can work on that when it happens, and I don't think we're going to get through this tank of oil in today's stream anyway, so this is all fine, and the bucket here is already full up, so the tank inside of the electric pump is going to slowly fill up, and then at that point, it's going to stop working. So that was actually nice and fast. Maybe we didn't need a second wind generator. Maybe we could have just temporarily moved this one and then moved it back, because it did that a lot faster than I thought it was going to do it. But now that we have it, chat, we can look into actually processing that oil. So the first thing that we're going to need if we want to process it is this guy right here, the refinery. If we type in oil in JI and we press U over the oil, we can see that we can turn oil into diesel and ethane if we put it into the refinery. The empty container here, not too bad though. On top of that, we need some brass, which is interesting. I think brass might be like copper and nickel maybe. Let me check that though. Brass is copper and zinc. Okay, so let's grab some of our copper and some of our zinc, which it would appear has not yet been processed, but I'm fairly certain we did make some zinc earlier on. We did indeed. Fantastic. I'll go ahead and grab some of that. And for now, it looks like we need 2. This one needs electrum as well, which is hopefully not going to be too bad for us either. But I'm pretty sure that just 3 copper and 1 zinc will get us the 2 brass. Yeah, you get 4 at a time, so that is fine. That is also done. And then we do also have to make another 2 of these alloy machines. And let me just check I have all the machines here. So we're going to refine the oil into diesel and ethane. We're then going to mix the ethane with water to make polyethane. We then also do need to get a solidifier, so let me bookmark that as well. So if we're going to make this happen, chat, we need 3 alloy machine frames and 3 circuit boards. So I feel like I should work with that in mind as opposed to making these one at a time here. And for that, the key thing that we're going to need is a lot of redstone alloy ingots. Right now we do have a whopping 3 of them, but I think we're definitely going to need quite a few more of those. So let's get those cooking up. We should now have everything it takes to make 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. We do indeed. And then if we want to upgrade to the next tier, we need to get the steel glass. So we need at least 12 steel, which we do have. And we should also have glass as well. We do indeed. I'm going to do it in this crafting table because if I do it inside of my storage scanner, it just becomes more work than it's worth. So we'll do that. 4, 8, 12. Fantastic. And then, of course, from there, we need 12 redstone alloys, and we have 11 of them, chat. So all we have to do is run 1 more of these through here. I'm going to save some of this redstone because, again, we are now down to just 48 redstone. This is the last redstone that we have, unless our digital miner finds more in the coming minutes. But that should do us for making 3 more of these alloy machine frames. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. And so from there, let's start with the refinery. Because, or maybe start with the mixer. We should have the brass now, right? We do indeed. Let's take this out for a second and throw in some gold and silver. Again, we should only need the 1 of each, and that should get us 2 electrum, I think, which is all we need for that refinery. And then other than that, we also need some bismuth steel ingots, which are iron, coal dust, and bismuth. And we also need aluminum steel ingots, which are iron, coal, and aluminum, or bauxite. And then we also need 3 circuit boards. Did I make the circuit boards? I did not. However, I think the circuit boards are likely to be potentially the easiest part. However, that does require a total of 9 redstone alloy ingots. So I am going to have to get all 8 of these turned into redstone alloy ingots, which is going to use almost all of our redstone, chat. My goodness, it requires so much. Jeez. But let's make a piston, which, again, is one of those recipes where it's just not worth using the storage scanner because the cobblestone is not the right Actually, I should bookmark it. Let me do this, and then let's grab spruce wood because that's what we're surrounded by, as well as 1 iron ingot and 1 piece of redstone that we don't have. And then we'll bookmark that. We'll store it here so that when I need it, I can just click on it and I don't have to, manually do what I just did there. But I think outside of the alloy here, I think we're pretty much good to go. And of course, the circuit board on the mixer. We're also pretty much good to go on the refinery. Again, outside of the alloy and on top of the solidifier, which is steel, iron bars, silver. Yeah, this is all actually fine. I will make another set of these empty casings here, chat. But I think we're pretty much just waiting on the alloy smelter now. All right, so that 9 there is enough for all of the circuit boards. So let's start, I guess, with the refinery. So 2 iron, 2 coal dust, which we can get by crushing coal, or 3 coal dust even, and then 1 aluminium. Okay, so do we have aluminum? We do. We'll take one of you. We'll take one of the, was it 2 iron, 3 coal? Yeah, 2 iron, 3 coal, 1 aluminum. Okay, so 2 iron, 1 aluminum, and then the 3 coal. We should also maybe look at upgrading that ingot chest down there as well to a gold chest, or at least an iron chest, because that one is also getting a little full at this point in time. But 1, 2, 3, throw that in there. I'm pretty sure the other recipes also require 3 crushed coal. It does, so we'll throw another 3 in there as well, just to have that ready for when it's needed. This is going to take about 400 years, but we can very quickly nab the speed upgrades out of here. Now, before I put them in using this like little upgrade button, but you can in fact just shift click them in, and that does, you know, put them in a lot faster. You don't have to wait for them to kind of move through the animation there. So if you're after things to go a little bit quicker, you can do that if you so wish. But at that point, champ, the refinery should be done. Let's go make those 3 circuit boards. Fantastic. And any second now, we get our first bit of aluminum steel. Beautiful. And at that point, boom, we have a refinery. Fantastic. So now we can turn our oil into diesel and into ethane. Next up, we need to make the mixer, which is going to allow us to combine the ethane with water to make that polyethane. For that, we need the iron, the coal, and the bismuth. Bismuth we should have. And I think, again, it's a 1, 2, 3. So 1 bismuth, 2 iron, and 3 coal. And then we should have the 2 steel left in here for the solidifier. And so I think, finally, we're good to go. So there is the bismuth steel. We can now make the mixer, like so. And we can also make the solidifier, if we replace the steel. Boom, boom, and boom. Are we missing, like, silver? We're not, but we're missing the correct kind of silver. We also might not have the iron bars, but let's see. And boom, nice. All right, so we do finally have the refinery, the mixer, and the solidifier, chat. We are good to go. All right. So, it's getting dark. We should probably sleep. But once we have slept, chat, we can awaken from our slumber, and we can begin to process oil into plastic, which is not only going to allow us to make our Forsaken alloy smelter faster than it currently is, but it's also going to open up a whole new world of machines for us to use, which is very nice indeed. So, let's see here. Now, I think, champ, actually, we have these machines, but we're not quite at the point where we can use them effectively, because I think what I would like to do here is, first of all, get some mechanical pipes from Mechanism so we can move the oil out of the tank effectively and put it into the refinery. But on top of that, chat, I mentioned it before, but the refinery doesn't have dedicated outputs. So it's going to turn oil into diesel and into ethane. But then if you try and just, like, for example, use a mechanical pipe to pull just the ethane out, I don't think there's an easy way to do that just using a pipe. Like, there's no configuration in here to say this right side is only for pulling out ethane. And so I think if we want to be able to effectively manage the fluids coming out of the refinery, we're going to want to set up a very basic XNET system. So XNET is a pretty cool mod made by the creator of RF Tools. And really all that we need right now is a controller, which is fairly easy to make. It's some iron, redstone, gold, redstone repeaters, a redstone comparator, and a machine frame, which again requires all of those blue items, including the blue doped wafers and blue alloy ingots. But all of that should be fairly easy. We do have a fair bit of Teslatite in our digital miner. And we're also going to need a couple of blue connectors. I think we could use any color, but I'm going to use blue. And these are also fairly simple. Just some blue dye, as well as a chest, redstone, and gold. And that should be pretty much it. We might also need some blue network cable, but that is also not too difficult for us to make. So let's begin smelting the steel up as well. We'll do it in a second, actually, when the iron's done. That's fine. There's no rush on the steel there. So let's see. Do we have what it takes to make any of this? The blue alloy wire is silver and Teslatite. So let's go ahead and make some of that if we can't. Do we have any Teslatite in here? We do. We have 9. Nice. We are going to have to get more, but we can get it going while we grab more out of the old digital miner here. So connector-wise, we're going to need maybe just the one connector for now. We can make more if we need it in a second there, but now that the redstone alloy is done, we should have everything it takes here, chat, to make another circuit board, like so. And then, of course, from there, make another machine frame, like so. And then from there, hopefully, we have what it takes, given that we have stone over here, to make ourselves 2 redstone repeaters. We might not have the torches, actually, now that I think about it. But again, should not be a problem. Let's make 6 torches. We don't have any... Oh, no, we do have sticks, but again, something like that. So let's go 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Do we have what it takes to make 2 of you? We do indeed. And finally, of course, the old comparator, which is 1 redstone torch shy of where we are right now. And boom. Nice. All right, so that should be the XNET controller taken care of. And this guy does require power, but shouldn't require a lot of it. And then blue cable-wise, I think we should also be able to make this fairly easily. Once again, let's craft one of our lapis here into blue dye. And there we go. 16 blue network cable. So the idea here, chat, is what we're going to do. And we might have to get some more universal cable as well, because I'm not quite sure if 2 is going to be enough. But essentially, and it's also unfortunate that we're doing this like so close to our nether portal as well. But let me, real quick, grab my lumber axe so I can clear some of these trees and give us a little bit of space to work with. So, chat, what we're going to do here is we're going to take the... And also, we didn't even make a mechanical pipe, chat. I need a mechanical pipe. Hold on. Hold on. Let's get some... that's why we made the steel, of course. Of course, of course. Let's... Oh, gosh. This is so full of stuff. Let me drop the saplings. Let me dump some stuff here. There we go. And then let's make some mechanical pipes to actually move the items that need moving. Mechanical pipes, of course, requiring that bucket there. I'll make 2. I'll make 2 lots of mechanical pipes. Although, no, I won't. We'll make 1 for now. I don't think we're going to need 2. All right. So we are going to need a configurator here as well to configure the pipes. But again, these are not too difficult to make. And in fact, I think we have pretty much everything it takes here to make one. We do indeed fantastic. And I'm also going to dump a few more of these items here that I'm not using into the system. So what we're going to do, chat, is we're going to pull, of course, out of the oil tank, up and into the refinery, like so. The refinery is also going to get power, like that. Beautiful. So over here, with the configurator, if you hold shift and then use the scroll wheel, you can cycle through different configuration modes. You can also see in the bottom left there which mode it's currently in. We want to be in fluid mode because that's what the basic mechanical pipe works with. It works with fluids. And then if we shift right click here, we can set it to insert. If we shift right click again, it's going to set it to extract, and it's going to begin pulling all of that oil out and sending it around into the refinery. Given that the refinery has power, that's going to start turning that into diesel and also into ethane. Now, it might not be a terrible idea, chat, at some point for us to make a diesel generator. I'm going to hold off for now because I don't know if we have the redstone for it, but I think what we'll do temporarily is make another tank, because we do have to take the diesel out of the refinery to make sure that we keep getting ethane. So real quick, let me grab another tank from Mechanism. And once again, if we have the infused alloys for it, I will upgrade to the next tier. Fantastic. Now, chat, what we're going to do is we're going to have a blue connector right about here. And we're also going to have our mixer, I think, right about here. So the blue connectors are used to actually connect the XNET system to machines, and then the cable is used to just move around. So the connectors are more expensive than the cable, but you need to have connectors if you want to interface with these machines here. And we might also have one, like the mixer, maybe like right here or maybe on top as well. But we do also need to run, power over, of course, as well. So we've got to be considerate of where we put these things. I think for now I'm just going to run the power over the top like that. But if we put our controller down, let's say, for now at least, just like right here. And then let's... this also needs to be... Oh, okay, in that case then, chat, I'm actually going to put it like right up against it. Like right here. Because the controller also needs to be connected via one of these connectors, not via network cable. And we should also quickly grab ourselves some universal cable as well. I think for now, 8's going to be fine, chat. Again, as per usual, steel, and kapow, beautiful. So essentially, all that we're going to do here is we're going to run power to all of these machines, like so. What we're going to do is, in here, you have multiple channels, up to 8. The first channel here, we're going to specify that we want this to be a channel for fluids. You can do gas, you can do items, you can do logic, energy. We're going to do fluids. We're going to extract from the refinery, and then we're going to insert into the mixer. So I'm going to do the mixer first, and also don't forget to click create, like that. In the mixer, we're going to click create, and we're going to click, we're going to make sure it's set to insert. Now, I do want to filter here, because what I don't want to do is insert the diesel, right? I want to insert ethane. Now, I think if I were to use this bucket here, we might get diesel first. Yes, I might have to, like, very quickly try and get to the ethane, because the ethane is what we want to actually filter. There we go. All right. So once you have a bucket of ethane in here, make sure you set filter ethane, like that. That way, only ethane is going to go into the mixer, which is what we want. So with that, we can now go to the refinery, create, and this time we're going to change INS to EXT, which is extract. So now it's going to start pulling, hopefully, the ethane out of there and sticking it into the mixer. That is the idea. And I think it should work. We are also going to have to get another pump, I think, for water. And set up a little unlimited water source as well. Why are you not working? What might be happening here, chat, is that I think what we might have to do is we might have to pull out the diesel before we can pull out the ethane, much like we did with our bucket. I think the controller might be running into that same issue there. So let me real quick go and grab another connector that we can put on the tank and then set up the same idea there. So we can also have the tank be filtered for diesel and insert that diesel into the tank. So connector-wise, we need just some more blue dye is all we really need here. So we'll get some lapis and craft that down. Fantastic. And hopefully if we have a chest, which we never do, and our wood is in here, so I'll make one manually. Boom. And boom. All right, let's go and hook that up. Like that. And we can use our network cable to connect it up to the controller like so. We actually do need to run it down to that other connector, which is like that. So now the tank should be available on the network. It is indeed. This time what we're going to do is we're going to empty this bucket temporarily into here. And then we're going to grab another bucket of diesel. Yeah, you can see as soon as I took the diesel out, now it's moving the ethane over. Fantastic. So the problem is that the tank here needs to be set to insert on diesel. Now, real quick, I'm going to disable the extraction from the refinery because what I don't want is I don't want any ethane being sent here. Over here, we're going to set create, insert, and we're going to whitelist diesel, like so. Back over here, we can turn this to ignored redstone again. And so now, it should take all of the diesel and put it in this tank when it's available, right? Like when the... so it's going to pull that diesel out, then it's going to pull the ethane out. So it has to... The tank before, any given tank has to be empty before it can then empty itself out. Which is fine. We're still getting ethane here, right? We are indeed, nice. And once that ethane's gone, this could be a problem if we're not processing our ethane fast enough. Can I stop this with a redstone signal, chat? Because what I don't want is I don't want the oil getting turned into diesel and not ethane, right? That does work. Okay. Once we get it going, it should be fine. Like once we actually start processing the ethane over here, we should be okay. Let me quickly go make a pump again, chat. In fact, actually, no, let's reuse the pump that we have. So this pump isn't currently doing anything. Let's nab it. And what we can do now is we can actually reset this to wrench mode and pop that off. We can actually now go ahead and make a little unlimited water source. And then use that unlimited water source to pump into the mixer, which is going to help us with the production of that polyethane. So let's do, for now, just something a little like this. And we'll do water here. We'll do another water on the right side there, like so. And then we'll also go ahead and we'll throw down our pump, not there. We'll throw down our pump right about here. That does, of course, need power, but that's fine. And then what it's going to do is it's going to produce water, or it's going to pump the water at least out of here. And we're hopefully going to pump that water over and into there. Now, I do once again think that the machines from Silent Mechanisms are not the smartest machines. Actually, I think they might be fine. We can test it. I'm wondering if they might put too many, too much water in. Oh no, it seems fine. And there we go. It's working, chat. So right now, the oil is being pumped out of this tank into the refinery. It's turning into diesel and ethane. The diesel is being sent via the XNET controller over and into this tank. It's not at the moment because we broke this pipe, but when we're not turning this off, the diesel is going to go over into the basic fluid tank. The ethane is being sent via the XNET controller over into the mixer, whitelisted, and then the water is being generated by the pump, or being pumped by the pump out of that unlimited water source over into the mixer, and then that is all being turned into this polyethylene. So, all we have to do then, chat, is extract from the mixer. Again, we'll set this to fluid, like so. Make sure that's set to extract. That's going to pull the polyethylene out of there up into the solidifier. And finally, chat, the solidifier is going to turn that polyethylene into those pellets. Those pellets can then be crafted into sheets, and those sheets can then be used to craft plastic for higher tier machines, or they can be used to craft the upgrade cases to upgrade our pre-existing machines. And that, chat, is the slightly janky way to make plastic. So we do now have 32 plastic pellets, chat, which is very nice indeed. As you can see, this, is a little janky. I don't know if I can... Like, if I replace this again now, if I turn this... If I do the old this, that's going to pull that out. Is it going to put the ethane in as well? Oh, it does. Okay, so the first two slots can be water, and then the second two can be ethane, maybe? Or maybe just the one, I'm not too sure. But that does seem to be working just fine. I don't know if the refinery is faster than the mixer. If the refinery is faster than the mixer, we got a problem. If they're about the same speed, it's fine. If the refinery is faster than the mixer, we got a problem because it's going to start deleting ethane. If the mixer is faster than the refinery, that's fine. And if they're the same speed, that's also fine. So hopefully the refinery is slower. I don't want to have to keep turning it off with redstone. It seems like it might be fine. We do, of course, have the problem of not having a big enough tank here. And that's because I foolishly put down the wrong tank, I guess. Let's do this. Now, of course, ideally, we can pump this diesel into a diesel generator and begin... Oh, no. We're okay. We're okay. Thank goodness to claimed chunks. I didn't know if that was going to work. For a brief second, my entire life flashed before my eyes. I was ready to quit this pack, chat. I was ready to call it quits. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Chat, we have 48 plastic pellets. So... we can now craft these up into these guys here. If we want to make a speed upgrade, which I think is where we want to start here with this guy, we need 6 plastic pellets, which is quite a few. But I think it's definitely going to be worth it. So let's make 2 of you. And then let's also see if we don't have what it takes to make, very quickly, a block of redstone, which I'm fairly certain we do have what it takes, but the redstone is just in our... digital miner. There we go. And then we should have silver. So it should just be a case of getting the right silver in, which we never do. At least not right away. There we go. And boom. All right, so we now have 2 more speed upgrades, which we can stick up here. I don't know if you can stack them. You can't. But we can put those in. And so now this should be, I think, 100% faster, right? If the logic holds there. 2 upgrades that bump it by 50%. So now if we put in iron and redstone, look at that. All right, we're getting somewhere. It's still not crazy fast, but it's definitely faster than it was, which is really all that matters for the time being. We might even go ahead and make 2 more. I'm not too sure. But this does seem to be working. Again, it's a little janky. And it does seem like the refinery might be a bit faster than the mixer here, but I think for the most part, it's not too bad. In that case, it might not be a terrible idea, honestly, to put these speed upgrades temporarily into the mixer to make sure that we get as much plastic as possible. The trouble with the refinery being faster than the mixer is that if the refinery is faster than the mixer, it's going to delete some of the... did I get those? It's going to delete some of the ethane. which is basically us deleting plastic, which kind of sucks. So I didn't grab those. I put them in the wrong slot. So let's throw these in to our mixer, just temporarily, to keep that going a little quicker. It would appear that our wind generator now is not able to keep up. And so again, temporarily, I will move this wind generator over, like so. I say temporarily because, of course, we can only go until we run out of oil, which is not going to take long. We're down at, we've already gone through over half of the oil here, so it's not going to take too long before we just run out of oil to use. So if we wanted to get chat into refined storage, which isn't currently on the quest line here. We have been doing quests, by the way, just passively. There is a quest for the XNET controller. The plastic surgery is what we've just done with the oil refinery. We've also got the digital miner, of course. But let's have a look. Act refined storage. If we wanted to make, for example, a controller, what do we need? We need 4 quartz enriched iron, which is just refined iron, which is iron and sand, plus quartz, so easy enough. Silicon does require the dissolution chamber with lava and silicon wafers. The dissolution chamber requires gold, diamonds, buckets, chests, the pity machine frame, which is plastic, compressed iron, purple alloy, and ultimate control circuits. It's a lot of stuff, but we do now have what it takes to make the plastic, so this should be doable. And this also does seem doable as well. The machine casing requires tungsten, quartz enriched iron, and bismuth brass. So I think, chat, we actually do have what it takes to make that controller. The only thing we might be missing, potentially, is tungsten, which I believe is a rare ore. Yeah, spawns rarely between Y levels 1 and 10. We do have 1 tungsten from our digital miner. Thankfully, we only need 4 nuggets for the controller. Or no, 4 nuggets for the machine casing, right? Which is part of the controller, of course. But that means that anything else that also requires a machine casing is going to require at least 4 tungsten. So, if we want to get like a very basic refined storage system, we need a controller, we need a crafting grid, which also requires another machine casing there. The binder also requires pink slime. Oh boy. Okay, so we're a little ways away. We need to get like a mob slaughter factory to get some pink slime going, and you know, a few other machines along the way, and maybe a couple of dissolution chambers before we can actually get to this. But it seems like it's not going to be insanely impossible, but it is, you know, a couple of streams away at the very least right now, which is a bit of a shame.